Yo, you can only see half of me right now because the wife that I don't have took it. This is crazy, man. And if I told you once, I ain't gonna tell you twice. Salute all my real ones. Yeah. Look, bro, we got Jordan Peterson. Marriage laws are flawed. I agree. That's the end of the video. We're done. There's nothing else to watch. I agree. 100%. But obviously, I can't do that. Let's see what it's going to be about. But before we do that, though, like button, subscribe button, notification bell, press those. Let's go.
You have said that the humanities have become corrupt, and for a person to avoid the dangers of the postmodern neo-Marxist ideologies and not enroll. Would you agree the same now applies to the Institute of Marriage with the laws as they are? No, I wouldn't say that. I guess partly because I don't understand what the alternative is. I mean, first I would say that to the degree that men are justly or unjustly upset about the way the marriage laws are set up, and I think they have reason to be concerned, especially with regards to the custody of children and the probability of paying virtually endless alimony with unbelievably severe penalties.
Permanent alimony. We discussed this in another video. Permanent alimony. I don't know if y'all watched the videos. I got a bunch of them up there. But a lot of states now have where, you know, whether it's a man or a woman, let's just be clear. But a lot of the times it winds up going against men. You marry a woman, y'all get together, she gets used to a lifestyle, you're the one making the money, y'all break up, she wants a divorce, she gets permanent alimony. You go your own way, she winds up finding a new guy, probably still living in the house that you originally bought before y'all even got together, and you still got to pay for it, and you're paying her alimony, and she got a new dude back stroking all up in her box, and you got to pay for it. It doesn't matter if she gets married to him or not, because it's permanent alimony. There are some states where they're like, all right, cool, well, if she gets remarried, then she's not entitled to permanent alimony. But it's like, if you're her, why the hell would you get remarried? You might as well just be with whoever you're going to be with and not get married and still collect the checks.
For failure, I think that it's incumbent on men to organize themselves politically and rectify that. And so I don't think that the answer is avoiding marriage. I think the answer is political organization and pressure on the right institutions to rectify this, because it needs to be rectified.
Well, in the interim, I kind of disagree, though. In the interim, that's a long-term solution, especially that the way that the American justice system and the political system and Congress is built. You can't just say, yo, all right, cool, we're all going to get together and we're all going to change the laws. That you're talking about a years-long, decades-long strategy. In the meantime, the real answer is don't get married. And don't live in one of them states where common law marriage is still a thing.
And I don't like the idea of telling young men to avoid permanent relationships with women because
you can, and I agree, I'm not saying don't have permanent relationships. Have permanent relationships. Just don't go sign that paper.
As far as I'm concerned, and this is my traditionalism, I suppose, manifesting itself, there aren't that many pathways through life. You know, you need a career, you need interesting things to do with your time outside of your career, interesting and meaningful things. You need a family. You need an intimate relationship to twine yourself together with someone else so that you're protected during times of crisis and able to celebrate during times of joy, and so that you set up a stable structure so that you can have children and have them feel secure and able to play. And like, that's life, man. And if you miss any of that, then your life is fragmented and fractured and you're going to be hurt. And like, I'm not saying that's absolutely true for every single person. There's always exceptions, but I'm concerned with the bulk of people and what the bulk of people have already done. And like, your life just isn't in some ways that complicated. You need to bear a social weight. You need to have a family and commit yourself to that, and it's in.
You see, like I'm a fan of Jordan Peterson because he stands up for what he believes in, but I don't completely agree with everything he's saying. There's people right now that don't want to have kids. They feel like the burden of cost of having a child, how cost prohibitive it is to even buy a house right now. Like year over year, the housing market is up 25%, right? Like so. And a lot of young couples can't even get a house, and they don't want to raise kids in a city or urban setting. So you have those things working against you. You have the fact that, inflation right now is through the roof. So there's a lot of things that people feel are getting in the way of them wanting to have kids. And just some people just feel like, man, I don't want to deal with kids. I just want to live my life and have fun. And in the social media era, you can see how that is the prevalent thought process for a lot of people. So I understand what he's saying because, I think he leans conservative, and conservative people are very much about religion and having a family. I just don't think that that's true for everyone. Nor is it something that everyone desires.
Commitments that you find the meaning in your life. And so if you don't have them, then, well, you float and you drift. And when people float and drift, they usually don't float somewhere good, and they usually drift somewhere bad.
Right. But you also don't want to speak in absolutes because that's just not true of everyone. So
I think that there are problems with the way the marriage laws are set up. I think they're quite serious. I do think that they persecute men often, but I don't think the answer to that is to tell young men to avoid permanent relationships with young women at all costs.
Once again, like I said, I agree with that. Don't avoid permanent relationships. Avoid marriage. To me, they're mutually exclusive. Like, you can have, I know many people that have been together decades and they're not married and they happy as ever. I don't see a reason why you want to bring the government into your relationship. I'm just saying. And if you have kids, you're going to bring them in there regardless, unless y'all stay together.
Because that is a very anti-life doctrine, and it's a cure that's worse than the disease. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I agree in principle with some of the things he's saying, but he does speak in absolutes about some things, and I just don't believe that there's a one size fits all when it comes to what makes people happy in life. But yeah, man, we gonna leave it there. This is a discussion that we can continue down in the comment section if y'all agree or disagree. My name is Rain. Catch you on the flip side. RCP salute. Wait for it. Dab on him.